Make Locked On Sports today your second listen. Check out Locked On Sports, biggest stories of the day, instant reactions, big game recaps, and the take of the day, available on Odyssey, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcast from. So we've certainly talked about the Lamar Jackson and is he available? Is he not available? And I don't think that at the end of the day that he's going to be available for the Atlanta Falcons. And, and I'm not in the camp of giving up assets and money and different things like that for Lamar Jackson out there. But let me give you this trade scenario. And this is where it gets to be ridiculous. So this comes from the Washington Post, okay? Certainly one of the respected newspapers. I don't know how good their sports coverage is, but anyway. So they write in their article that, quote, the executives I spoke with keep coming back to two NFC South teams as potential Jackson landing spots, the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. Both missed out on Deshaun Watson a year ago, but not without a significant fight. Both have a needed quarterback. Both markets could use a jolt, and neither owner is afraid to spend. Now, here's what they also say, that the Washington Post says that Carolina should send star cornerback J.C. Horn 2 first-round picks and a future second-round pick. And then they go on to say that the Falcons deal may be even more expensive. Quote, Atlanta, never more of a pro football town than when Mike Vick was running its offense, okay, could offer, listen to this, rising star cornerback A.J. Terrell, the number 8 pick, future picks in 2023, and maybe even aging defensive tackle Grady Jarrett, who would add bona fide chops to the interior of Baltimore's defensive line, especially if Calais Campbell retires. So let me see if I got this right. I have a number 1 corner. I have my best defensive lineman, the number 8 pick, and other future draft picks in this thing. Okay. Can I say no to that trade scenario? Why would the Falcons, for a guy who doesn't put them in the Super Bowl, gut their entire roster? Because at that point, if you're trading Terrell, Grady, the 8th pick, and more picks besides that, where do you think you're going to be as a franchise? Like, how do you get rid of really good players, bring in one guy, and it makes all the difference? And look, I say it all the time. Quarterback can influence the game more than any player on the football field. But as bad as this roster is, if you take Grady and Terrell and the number 8 pick, whoever that player is, whatever the name is on the back of the jersey, you'd start to take all of that away. How are you any better with Lamar? Yeah, it's exciting that, he's going to run around and things like that. Great. I saw that with Mike Vick. And you know what happened? They still never had 2 winning seasons back-to-back here. They still never had consecutive seasons of winning record. Yeah, there were moments, right? The Minnesota game in overtime when he had the big run, Carolina when he came back, and he did make an NFC championship game. But those things were few and far between. So for the life of me, why would the Atlanta Falcons get into a scenario where you give up the players that you've developed and are really good players, your best cover corner, when you don't even have at this point a second cover corner? More on that in a second here. Your best interior defensive, just your best defensive lineman, when you're the worst defensive line of scrimmage team in the NFL. So you're the worst line of scrimmage defensive team in the NFL, and you give up the one guy who can play on that. Oh, and then you give up $250 million to sign your quarter. This is madness. If Arthur, now this would come, okay? And let me be clear. This would not be, if something like that happens in all of this, that's not a Terry Fontenot. That's not an Arthur Smith decision. That comes right from Arthur Blank. When I tell you that Arthur Blank was the driving force to get Deshaun Watson, that's 100% true. That wasn't Terry Fontenot. That wasn't Arthur Smith that were pining to spend money and go out and, give up asset and all those. That came right from Arthur Blank. And a trade like this that involves Lamar Jackson of any level or of any merit or whatever, whether it's draft picks, players, and whatever cash is involved in signing him, because there's no way you're getting Lamar Jackson and not having him sign a long-term contract. And that's going to cost you $200 million guaranteed or whatever like that. So besides the fact of all of that, why would the Falcons gut their roster like that? Like, how are you better as a franchise? This makes no sense. You just got out of cap purgatory. You have a couple of pieces, a few pieces that you can build around. And the few pieces that you have, you give those away. You give away the number 8 pick in this year's draft, which whatever, no matter who you pick, should come in and contribute right away for this team, right? You want an edge player, offensive lineman, all of those different things, right? This is ridiculous. I mean, but, when we concoct these scenarios and different things like that, that's where we're at with all of this. That's where we get into these kinds of just crazy types of discussions and things like that. Lamar Jackson isn't worth that kind of trade package. Hell, I would tell you Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers aren't worth that kind of trade package. Those guys aren't that. You gut your team to add a dynamic quarterback that you can watch run around that won't stay healthy. And if you trade Terrell and Grady and all those guys away, doesn't improve your roster. Like, there's not a net benefit to adding Lamar, but losing Grady, losing AJ Terrell, losing the 8th pick, and multiple, other picks or whatever it is. I don't care if it's second, third, whatever like that. It's a crazy scenario. So in no universe would I ever do a deal like that. But if something like that happens, that's an Arthur Blank call. That's a call that comes directly from the top with Arthur Blank. All right, I want to talk about my friends over at Built Bar. Listen, Built.com is the place to go to get all of your low-calorie, low-sugar, low-carb, high-protein types of snacks, right? So we're in the new year, right? We're trying to get healthier. We're trying to get, in the mindset. We're back in the gym. We're eating better. Hope springs eternal and everything like that, right? Well, if you're looking for that delicious snack that is high protein, but gives you all the benefits of low sugar, low carb, low calorie, head to Built.com today. You can try out all of the great flavors that they have: churro, peanut butter brownie, coconut almond, okay? And now, even better, you can head to Sam's Club or Walmart and grab your boxes of Built bars. So if you want to go to Built.com and check out their wide menu of different products and you prefer to, do the online shopping thing, great. And by the way, I will tell you to try the marshmallow puffs. They have a different texture, different taste to them, but they still have 130 calories, 4 grams of sugar, and the whopping 17 grams of protein in it. But you can now, if you want to, you do the brick and mortar type thing, and I'm a brick and mortar guy, you can head to Walmart, you can head to Sam's Club and pick up your Built bars there. So head to Built.com, go to Walmart, go to Sam's Club, check out the wide selection of different products that they have available for you and get your low calorie, low sugar, low carb, but high protein types of snacks as we're all trying to get healthy. Head to built.com today. Check out the wide menu of products that they have.